How do you guys think we can kind of use creativity to kind of change mindsets and behavior? What are your thoughts, Leon?
So the way I think that influence works is that as content creators, people get influenced not only by like us as a person, but by the attention that comes along with content creators. Like the hype that you get with it, all the comments, the likes, like everybody at some point wants that. So when people see content creators like me and so many others promoting stuff like this, they'll want, like for example, all the things that I've mentioned with climate change, they want to buy that because they see that we're using it and they think, oh, like, oh, Leon's a good person, Leon like does this and he makes these great videos, so if he's using that, like I should be too. And that's the way for it works. For like example, as I said, a lot of makeup artists that I know, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of TikTokers that I know, they all will promote, as just like myself, cruelty free stuff and like stuff that is like so healthy for the earth and like isn't gonna cause damage, and just so that they can not only do a better impact on the earth but prevent bad things from happening as well.
I completely agree. And to second your point, Leon, I feel like it's really a really good point you mentioned about being like an influencer, in the sense that I feel like a lot of people generally just don't really know about the impacts certain day-to-day activities that they may have, what type of impact, that might have on the world. So I feel like, not trying to put any pressure on you, of course, but like influencers such as yourself, who kind of hold that type of flame, hold the light, hold the microphone in a sense, to the greater public. It would be really good to kind of see how we could use people who have a big influence over others to kind of just spread awareness, because I feel like the first stage to change is just getting people to know about it and understand. Because if I'm being completely honest with myself, before I even joined this role, I wasn't really too sure or as much or aware or as aware as I should be of about sustainability in the world. So I feel like that's a really good point you made there.
Thank you. Yeah, 110% agree.
Moving on to my next question, I'm going to start off with James for this one again. How do you feel about representation within the climate movement?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't profess to be an expert in the climate movement, so in terms of the diversity of the people involved in it, but my sense is that it's probably driven a lot by sort of white middle-aged men, like it is in most industries, and a lot of those key people who can influence those behaviours are probably of that ilk. So a big kind of passion area of ours is obviously to bring young people into the conversation, because at the end of the day, it's the youngest people that are going to be on this earth for the longest amount of time, and should have the biggest influence on to my mind on the impact on sustainability to try and right the wrongs of the past. In terms of that program that I just mentioned, Daydream Believers, that's purely really about targeting, getting young people to actually equip them to be able to have their say with the sort of key influencers. I mean, if you look at an amazing example like Greta. She is probably now the most prominent influencer, and quite right too. She's a young person who should have that say. And if you look at the impact that she's made, so I think for me, the kind of we really need to get young people into that conversation, and we need to look at it globally. We can't just look at it through Western eyes. We need to look at it through through the angle of Africa, what it means in Asia, what it means in Latin America, as well as the usual places like Europe and North America. So, yeah, for me, it's got to have a real, true global approach, but also making sure that young people are brought and put at the centre of that conversation.
I completely agree. Leon?
As a content creator, we can actually do so much, and we don't even realise how much we can influence and how and like we can actually use these and like make it a trend. But there can be some place where a lot of, like, for example, people like part of me, which are part of the LGBTQ plus whatever community, they feel like their voices don't get heard enough, which is kind of sad, because that's like the last thing you want. You want your voice to be heard. You want to have that impact on someone, and when you can't get that, like, you feel bad. But like me and myself, that is one thing I need to, like, I make sure that happens. I make sure that my voice is heard, and I try push other people as well to let their voices be heard, which is where I see myself as an influencer and a content creator.
To your point as well, Leon, I definitely do second that, because I do believe that, you know, like you said, everyone's voices should be heard. You know, it's everyone's world at the end of the day. Everyone's here living on planet Earth, so why shouldn't everyone have a say? And also to kind of second your point as well, James, about the youth. So it's like, I am very big, even though I am kind of part of the youth, I guess, planting seeds today so that the plants can kind of grow tomorrow. So, you know, we're going to be the next leaders of change in the next 20 plus or even less years, you know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like it's very important and crucial that our voices are heard now in order to maybe save the world tomorrow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So James, can you tell us a bit more about the work that Dentsu is currently doing to kind of empower the new generation in terms of the code?
Well, the code, you know better than anyone, is a program to give access to people from all backgrounds across. We started as a UK initiative to get more diverse background into our organisation. I think, you know, the Scott and the team have worked, have put together an amazing program in the UK that we're now rolling it out into 11 countries worldwide. I think we've got a commitment to.
So it's global.
Global
So
now.
it's going well,
so
clearly.
So I think we're committing towards 100,000 people to go through that program, young people to go through that program by 2030.
That's really interesting. So yeah, following on from your point, James, about the code is great. I'm here as a result of the code, and so is one of my good friends, now turned colleague, called Annabelle as well. It all started when I was at Global Academy, which was a media college based in West London. Me and some of my other friends, such as Annabelle, who also now works at Dentsu. So we started off at Global Academy. It was great being exposed to the media world. Never done anything like it before, so it was really good experience, and kind of just opened my eyes up to the vast amount of different roles within the media world for different great companies such as Dentsu. As a result of that, we had multiple different open days, one of them being here at Dentsu, which was called the Advertising Unlocked program. It was really good. Like I said, it was a real eye-opener for me, just about more so what Dentsu does as a whole. And especially me I was only about 16 or 17 at the time, I was just blown away, you know. Wow, like Dentsu does all this, different agencies, etc., just really cool stuff. So fast forward 2 years later, I'm now 19, done a full 360-degree spin, I guess, and I'm now sitting here working for Dentsu. So it definitely is just like a testament to say that the code does work. If you are someone who's really amped about media, you're hardworking, who's to say that you couldn't be sitting where I am in the next couple of years?
It's a great story, great story. So maybe we can play with this format a little. So I was just thinking, I talked about, you know, the role that young people should be playing in the future of climate change. So if you were given the platform at COP26 in Glasgow, the opportunity to talk through the world's leading lights and influence, what would you want to say to them about climate change?
Put me on the spot there, James. If it was up to me, I would just say, one thing I would definitely say, one key point I would definitely like to put across to those people in power would just be that let the younger generation, such as myself and Leon, have a bigger say on, you know, the future, because at the end of the day, whichever way you want to look at it, we are the leaders of the new world, you know. To the people who are in charge now, you have been you've grown through the area of the old world in a sense, but we're moving into change, we're moving into a new chapter of the world. So I just feel like, what better opportunity to give to the people who are going to be there to experience that in full effect when that time does come. So yeah, that's definitely what I would say. Just consider the young minds, the new fresh minds, you know. So yeah, that's definitely what I would say. Thank you so much to James and Leon and the rest of the audience for watching. Stay tuned for episode 2 and 3 for The Code Presents. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe and drop your comments down below. Cheers.